I'm gonna bust you up, boy! Hi, I'm Andrew Armstrong, and welcome to the back office. I've got a huge box, he says. See how huge it is? It is massive, and that is because it contains a massive thing. And it's basically from our good friend on YouTube, Mr. Stuart Ashens, and he sends me an Eastern Daily Press newspaper, and that's something that I've always wanted. But strangely enough, there seems to be something else inside, and that's because stuck to the paper is this video game board. And he did tell me what this was, but I've since forgotten what it is. It's a JAMMA board, and I'm just looking over it to see if there's anything we can tell from it. It says Technos Japan, or Technos, but there is a chip on there with written on there, and it's tested working Wrestle Federation. And the reason he sent me this is because of the other thing that's in the box. And I'm just going to put this aside somewhere safe. Just slam it on the floor somewhere. And that is this. If you have those JAMMA arcades boards, you need something to play them on. And if you don't have a cab, you need one of these, and it's a Supergun, and you can see it does look wonderfully super duper. And this seems to be like one that someone's made out of a flight case. In fact, it's difficult for me to actually show you everything, but I can show you this. Stuart's put in his knobs. Look, it's like someone's literally taken one of those aluminium cases and turned it into an arcade. And I'm just going to put the knobs on, and I'm going to flip it over because it's the wrong way around. I don't know if it's using genuine Sanwa parts. I would hope it is, but I suspect it doesn't matter really, does it? I mean, how many of us would know? Hang on a minute, this isn't a genuine Sanwa part. I'm going to turn it round. Now, there was something else in the box, but I think it's just a sort of mystery object. But Stuart, if that's from something, you know, you're welcome to have that back. I'll put that back in the box when I send you back your board. So there's nothing I wouldn't like more to do than just sort of crack on and play some games with this and sort of test out the JAMMA board that Stuart sent me and the board I have. But I think I need to check it out first. So we've got a VJ connector, so it plugs into a monitor. We've got the JAMMA connector, so that's going to go straight into the PCB. And there is a power plug on it. So, ooh, mains. I wonder if the aluminium case is earthed. Actually, let's just check that for shiz and giggles. We'll just... Sorry, whoever's made this, while I'm for doubting you. Oh dear. No. If there is a ground fault, you might find you're experiencing. Spirits electrifying. So I'm just even testing the screw heads here. Okay, interesting enough. I think I want to have a quick look inside, just a sneaky peek. So bear with me at home. We need to figure out how to make this fit. Ooh, okay. And wow, actually quite a lot of work's gone into this. And interestingly enough, some of those buttons are dummy buttons there on the right hand side. In fact, it looks like there seems to be some work to do. So there's your two joysticks, and you can see they're wired up here. The full 6 buttons here, plus the play, the credit and the start buttons, as you would expect. But on this side, we've still got part of a loom, but no micro switches in there. So I suspect they need to be replaced at some point. However, the actual plastics are okay, because sometimes the plastics break, but they're good. So they just need the actual switches. And then I'm gonna hold it upside down so you can see what I see. So you imagine now it's upside down, boys and girls at home. But you've got a speaker mounted here, and I'm going to feel, yes, there is a raw speaker cone there. There's no grill. And there's your, I think this is called a Gambas unit. If you remember, we went through one of these before, and I really thought they were crap. But they're obviously good enough for this purpose, though, because a lot of people with arcade conversion seem to be using them. So they're absolutely fine for this purpose, just not for an Atari ST. And here is a standard arcade power supply. So if you saw my Tatio Phoenix cabinet sort of rebuild thing. I bought one of these because I was kind of a bit wary of its existing power supply. So these are really good. These are like sort of a tenner or something if you shop around. So power supply, video converter to take the JAMMA sort of composite signals and be able to put them out on a VGA, and buttons over here. So I think that's absolutely fine. What I would have liked to do though, you could see here there's a mains coming in and there's a knot, nice strain relief knot here stopping it getting yoinked out. Yoinks and away! What I would suggest though, if you were doing this at home, what you might want to do is take the earth from here. So there'll be an earth from that mains, and you see there's these couple of nuts holding the power supply to the case because it's got some mounting lugs. I would put the earth bonding on that. In fact, let's have a little look. See, there is a ground here. I think that's low power. There is an earth. Actually, to be honest with you, let's check this out a bit further, because in there I can see the earth from the plug is actually grounded. So this could be a little wee issue. So if you're making one, let's see if we can resolve this right here and now, because then this is a potential gotcha. Now, let's see if I can zoom in a bit for you, boys and girls at home, just to show you there. There's without damaging this build, but you can just about see there's an earth wire going to a lug, and that's attached to the power supply. So I'm going to check for continuity of two easy places, and that's one between the earth of the plug and of course the end of the wire. Yes, there is, you can hear that. And it is to the chassis, so I basically holding it to a screw, so it is to the chassis. Now that's odd, isn't it? Why are we not getting that to the case? I'm getting it to the case there. It's just not. So it's weird. It's just not actually conductive to this material. Maybe this sort of aluminium is lacquered and it just isn't conductive, or is it sort of plastic? No, it is conductive. Interesting. The side panels though don't seem to be as conductive as the top edge. I would, you got to be careful, guys, with your bonding like that. Probably the answer to that though would be to sort of use a Dremel and really sand off a bit of this just to make sure it's biting in. I'd like to have seen that, but it's not like a big deal. But if there is a fault, this would become a big deal, because this could become electrifying. Anyway, that's not why we're here. We're here to test game boards, so I'm going to go and set it up for doing just that. So you can see and possibly hear that the Supergun is connected, and unfortunately you can see there's a problem on this board because it's a bit jittery. Every now and then it sort of freaks out a bit. So that's something that I'm going to be exploring, I think, over a course of a few videos, because I've got another board as well which I suspect will be DOA once I start playing with it. But you have to look at the anatomy of a board, and before we sort of really go into that, I'll just do a quick overview in this video before we wrap up though, because it's interesting. You can see there's the JAMMA connector, and I've marked where the power end is. You've got to be aware there's a keyway on JAMMA boards, and that connector didn't have a keyway in it. And in fact, I'm just going to turn the volume down. And the volume control's right here. There we go. Silence is golden, of course. And you can see all the various components on the board. And that big chip in the corner with the sticker on is likely to be the controller there, the main CPU, which will probably be one of those Motorola M68 and the various memory chips. Suspect those to be memory chips. And then those little bits that are sticking up on sockets, they can be changed out, will be the actual game itself. And that's the area there is all dedicated normally to audio. So you can see there's some video glitching, so I'm going to have to try to work out which part of this board deals with the video, and maybe just a few caps. I mean, that's probably what it is. It's always recaps. However, there is also the possibility of the power supply in that, so it might well work for a lot of other boards, but maybe, just maybe, could be the power supply not happy. But we'll cover that in another day. But there you go, that's Stuart Ashens Supergun ready on the bench for video game board testing. Thanks for watching.